Hey there viewers, my name's Torinski and welcome back to another DCSS Sunday. Today we're going to be jumping right back into the usual routine, trying to get a win with every species in the game. And where we last left off, we'd had a little bit of a rough start with Felid, but it had all kind of settled out with good old Shakespeare at the end here. So hopefully we can continue this upward trend and maybe, just maybe, get out of this dungeon in one piece. But who's to say what the dungeon has in store? So without further ado, let's get ready to hop back into it. And you know, it's been a bit of a busier day, so I didn't even get my usual time to refresh myself, remember where we left off. So let's do that together, shall we? I do know that we'd just gotten our Shoals rune here, so that's pretty fantastic. Oh, we also did already have Spider. I thought that we only had one. Hey, that's a nice surprise at the start of our evening. So that means that we just have some of the later sections of the game to finish off here, and hopefully can do in one piece. I mean, we do have Dragon Form up and online now. It's been working out pretty well for us so far, so I definitely think we can keep it going here. Keep it trending upwards. I know, did we have Manifold Assault? That's something that I wanted to double check, because I remembered coming across it at some point here. But I could have been mixing it up with a different run, and it does indeed seem to be the case. So we'll have to hold off for the moment, but I'm crossing my fingers. Hopefully we can find that, because it does help out a great deal with our Dragon Form strategy here today. Okie dokie. I guess we're going to be heading to depths. Could also head into vaults if we so desire. We don't have the best cold resistance, unfortunately, but that's not the end of the world. Also, hello doggo, just off screen. Not quite time for your food yet, but don't you worry, we'll come out and help you out. Sorry, chat, need to give some rubs to the sweet puppers real quick, but there we go. I guess let's just head to one of these areas, shall we? And we can sort it all out on our way, or when we get there. We'll start off with vaults, since it is on the way rather, so that should work out quite nicely for us. And let's see, Dragon Form is on my 0. We do have Irradiate. Oh right, and Noxious Bog was the MVP of last session, a spell that I'm gonna potentially be using more often moving forward, because I did very much enjoy that capability, especially in Spider. Oh, and it looks like we are immediately in the thick of it here, so let's just pop that bad boy down right away. And you, my friend, can come to me. Perfect. So it's looking like we'll continue to use it as much as we possibly can. Vaults isn't the best place, just because there are a lot of walls involved, so it's always a little bit harder to set it up in a good way. This nice little intersection, this 4-way stop, might be our best bet in that regard. Let's also get that mouse off of there, shall we? Gotta remember to turn on my Dragon Form, of course. That's always very, very important. Even slimes feel the power of the bog here. Love to see it. Absolutely fantastic. Auto Explorer, on the other hand, does not love the bog. But this we already knew to be true, of course, and let's just let our friends come to us one at a time here. We'll take our time in vaults, try not to have any unfortunate incidences, like so. Alrighty, so what can I do to try and deal with the Yaktar hordes? Because this is going to be a consistent problem, I would assume, moving forward. We could try to just run away. I guess at the end of the day, we do have at least one life that we can lose. I'd prefer not to do so within the first 5 minutes of the evening, if at all possible. That seems like a less than ideal situation, but maybe unavoidable, because running away here is an interesting choice in its own right. Will I be able to make it? I also just realized that we have a bunch of ID scrolls and quite a few unidentified potions, so if we survive this fight, that's something I should try my very best to remember to check out. Well, let's let them come to us. You know, I already regret this. Plus 3 sword, 56 damage. We're going to be taking a heck ton of damage right away here. So we could try and use a fear to just get at least the Yaktors off of our back. The Warden might not run away, but that would be fine. On their own, they're not too much of a problem. We're not in a good spot for Bog, unfortunately. I could take a step in, I guess. Might be the best I can do here. That's a lot of Yaktars, though. Don't love that. So let's see. Bog potentially helps clear out some of the backline here, so maybe I will throw one of those down just for that sake. And then we'll start irradiating our nearby friends here. Getting a decent chunk of damage done. And that should be perfect. Turns out I was maybe panicking a little bit more than necessary, but I'd rather be overcautious than overconfident. So that's not too bad at the end of the day here. Ooh, and how's our willpower? Not great, 30% chance, hey, my friend? So right now we're wearing this evasion int ring and cold resistance, electricity resistance ring. We do have, I thought we had willpower somewhere here, but maybe I'm losing my mind. Let's do a quick check for anything willpower related. Nothing. Oh geez. Well, maybe Vaults isn't the place for me. Maybe I will head back to Depths with this kind of a setup. At the very least, what we can do is come running around this way, and let's stick a little bit closer to where we came down from, so that if we do have to run away suddenly, we have a bit of an avenue for said escape. And there comes the mark. So perfect timing. Let's just come back to our little hobby hole here. Can even put down some Bog, even though I did just realize that that gets rid of our stairs, so maybe slightly less than ideal. Oh, hello, Saint Roca. I'd say it's nice to see you, but I'm trying not to lie very much, and unfortunately, it's not exactly the case here. 7% chance to paralyze you. It was worth a shot to try at least once. We could also use roots to try and trap you. Unfortunately, that doesn't pan out. How long does this Bog last? Jeez Louise. Hoisted by my own mistakes here. There we go. And we can just leave, so I think I will do so. Have to keep in mind that we've left St. Roca at the top of Vaults there, so might have to be a little bit cautious on our way back. But for the time being, let's wait out the mark, and then let's head to our Depths entrance here, and let's see if we can't get a little bit luckier in what we come across as we begin our new journey over this ways. Of course, it's an ice dragon. A little bit unfortunate for us there, but not the end of the world. Do I want to just drag everyone into the Bog? I can probably take this fight. So let's do so. In fact, we're even going to throw it back up here. Need to get rid of the ice dragon as soon as possible, because they are definitely the problem child here. Fortunately, the Iron Troll can't chase us down, so I will just retreat here, take it as a nice little rest break, and we can always try to just bring up one of our new friends. There we go, perfect. Play this a little bit cautiously. Get good poison. It's nice that the stairs is now right nestled into walls, so we don't have to worry about throwing a Bog into our own escape. That is just lovely. Otherwise, wow, we are definitely gathering quite the crew here. Hello, my friends. I mean, that's a decent lightning bolt opportunity at least, so I guess we can take advantage of that. I want to be slightly cautious that we don't build up too much of a following right here at the stairs, otherwise coming back down might be a little bit... I'm not going to say impossible, of course, because that's not true. Jeez Louise. That, however, is a lot of damage. Holy moly. So let's take our couple of friends upstairs here. Fortunately, we killed the dragon right away, but this son of a gun still packs quite a wallop. We can kind of run away. No, we can't, because attacks of opportunity. Oh, I almost forgot. This is when it's most dangerous to me and when I'm most likely to forget things like that. But that's definitely something to keep in mind. And then I'm curious, Irradiate is at 3d25. How does that compare to my own damage, I wonder? I mean, we at least attack pretty fast with unarmed, so we could take our luck at just trying to kill this son of a gun. Again, if we die, it's not the end of the world, but I'd like to save our lives for when we truly need it. Well, let's go with an Irradiate here, and we'll finish off with a Claw. And geez Louise, way closer than I want to get at the very start of the evening. Turns out this run maybe not quite as plateaued and settled as I was originally making it out to be, but should at the very least still be fairly manageable here. Better than it was, to say the least. And you kids are going to deal way more damage than I feel comfortable with, especially if a cold bolt comes in right after, so let's try and escape upstairs. Feel like we're getting more than our fair share of luck, but I'd rather be lucky than good, so that's not the end of the world. And more ice dragons, of course. And a frost giant. Well, how about that? What fun. We do have a good time here. Well, and throw down a bog can potentially... Okie dokie, I was hoping to not immediately take quite so much damage. I guess I can try and escape up still. I think there are fairly decent odds that this is where I lose my extra life. Not quite, not quite. Do I dare go straight back down? Maybe instead we could take a bit of a diversion over to Elf and see how things fare on that side of things. We don't have the best AoE options, which is generally what I like to rely on for clearing something like Elf, but it should be a little bit safer. We can at least tell when we have some elemental magic coming our way and should be able to counter it as much as we possibly can. So let's at least take a peek, shall we? At the very least, it'll be a bit nicer of a warm-up for me here as we're getting back into the swing of things. Of course, it's the vault-style entrance to Elf, which is less than ideal, shall we say. But at the very least, we have electricity resistance. Do I dare start casting lightning bolts? I guess they're probably making all sorts of loud noises here, so might as well join the party there. And we can just start blasting these sons of guns. Oh, that was a shapeshifter up here. Okie dokie. Not a huge amount of hit dice on that son of a gun, so I'm not too stressed out about it. If I let them take one more step towards me, they should line themselves up quite nicely. There we go, not too shabby. And let's see, what do you have, my friend? Oh, that's a repel missiles. They've added a bunch of these little icons into this version of the game, which I appreciate a lot for sure. Definitely helps out with keeping everything straight and knowing when enemies have effects on them, because sometimes it was a little bit easy to miss or to look over, shall I say. And we definitely have a decent amount of friends. There's some ice magic coming in, so not ideal, but as long as they don't get too much of an opportunity to throw things our way, we can even bring them upstairs just to play it as safe as we possibly can here. Similarly, the glaive here will come upstairs just to ensure that we don't take slightly more damage than we mean to. And that should be perfect. At the very least, once we get our claws on these sons of guns, we just absolutely tear them apart, so that's pretty solid. Vehement also offers us knowledge of Shatter, Chain Lightning, and Ignition. So I'm very happy to see Ignition on this list, and in fact, maybe we want to do a bit of a shift in strategy here. It's a little boring that I go with Ignition every single run, but there's a good reason for that, and especially when we're playing as Cat, I kind of want to get any advantage that I can possibly leverage. So let's start training some fire magic and see how long it takes to get that up and running to a satisfactory level, shall we? Amulet of Magic regen. We currently just have regular regen. I do love me a regen ego, so I think we'll leave that alone for the time being. It's definitely nice to have some staying power when it comes to regenerating magic, but with Vehement, we should be okay in that regard, especially when we can rely on unarmed combat to kind of do some of the heavy lifting for us. So that should work out fantastic. And hey, Necrohall, cooking some homemade pasta for the successful Felid run. No, I don't think you're jinxing it though. If anything, I myself did that by having such a positive intro to the run at the start of this evening. But I'm glad. Definitely have that ready to celebrate, because without a doubt, we are 100% winning this. It's not like I've come close to dying already a couple of times within the few minutes we've been playing, so it should be just about perfect. Ooh, even letting myself fall out of dragon form by accident there ended up not being the end of the world, which is slightly surprising to me. Almost beat an earth elementalist just in our natural cat form, so how about that? You do love to see it, and again, as long as we can get these elves close to us, they don't really stand too much of a shot, so it's not the end of the world whatsoever. Definitely going a heck of a lot better than our entrance into vaults and depths did, so let's use this as a good opportunity to just whip up some EXP. I don't think we'll get Ignition online in our time here, but I mean, we're already at 5.1 fire magic. Ignition starting to come down, still 99% failure rate, but that's the start for sure. Oh, for a second I thought, did I go through a trapdoor? But I see we immediately got insta-TP'd. Well, that's interesting, and in fact, it seems to me that we got teleported into the Hall of Blades, which is a little unfortunate, because this is the type of character that I probably wouldn't have bothered coming through the Hall of Blades for. There's no real reason on a cat to do so, but I guess here we are now, so might as well just make the best of it. And at the end of the day, it's still more experience, so I guess it's not the end of the world one way or another. Should make sure we're staying in dragon form as much as possible. That can always start to go poorly. And you, my friend, if you could come right this way. Closer. Oh, you lost us. Okay, I'm a very, very stealthy dragon here. Very shocking for my large gate, but I guess maybe the elves in the Hall of Blades just don't have the best listening skills. That could be a potentiality as well. And here's where tabbing gets me into trouble, as we're taking quite a bit more damage than I would like. You, my friend, 46 damage plus drain. 0.3 buff. Felid can now hold handguns down the Hall of Blades. Wouldn't that be the dream? So the question becomes, do we just try to eat our way out of this cake hole, or start digging into our pockets? We don't have any just standard heal wounds potions, unfortunately. Ambrosia probably won't outpace the Evening Star in terms of healing ability, so I think we will Irradiate to just kill that son of a gun. And then 30 health. You can deal up to 24 with Lightning Bolt, 15 with your weapon. I'll take that bet. And perfect. Again, not even close, feeling confident, never didn't have it. And let's just keep this going, shall we? Again, we did, I guess, find the exit there, so we could just get the heck out of Dodge if we so desired. But I almost feel like we might as well try to finish off a little more here. There is a Battle Axe of Distortion up there that we just walked by, so that is potentially going to be a rough encounter. Definitely don't want to get ourselves sent to the Abyss. Oh, but there we go, at level 18. We do find ourselves with another extra life, so now we can immediately throw it away by not paying attention. Wouldn't that be just swell? in all seriousness, hopefully we can manage to hold on to these and retain them for a while here at the very least. Can immediately irradiate to get rid of all these friends, and lightning for you. Get the heck out of there while we quickly heal up, and not too bad. It's definitely not the end of the world here. Not my favorite setup for sure. I wouldn't go that far, but we're kind of making it work. Oh, I did just get rid of my stairs. I gotta remember that that's how that works. Fortunately, the area of effect was large enough to encompass our archer friend, otherwise we might have been in slightly more trouble. So that was the main danger risk factor, of course, as it has been this whole time. And you, my friend, do you want, instead of lightning, maybe I do just walk right up to you. And of course you have a bunch of friends. In that case, let's put up the bog. Retain some of our magic in case we need it. I'm worried about damnation coming in from the sorcerer here, but as long as everybody kind of steps this way, it's not quite as risky. Still, corrosive bolt can pack quite a wallop, so always slightly scared to see that, but not the end of the world, at least not yet so far today. So that's something at least, that's nice. Can also do a quick check. Did we have any shops that we left behind yesterday? Potion of Haste is still un-ID'd. Oh, actually, speaking of which, before I forget again, let's quickly read through all of our ID scrolls and get these sons of a gun sorted. Perfect. 4 potions of haste. Definitely might have been useful in the past. Ooh, a scroll blinking. I almost didn't see you there. Fantastic. Hey, Railbird. It's been a hot minute. Nice to see you, of course. I hope you environmentalists are going well these days. Hey, St. Ras. Hurrah, the Rattling Bog, indeed. It's my first time, or this run I should say, was my first time casting Noxious Bog, and I've been really loving it. It single-handedly got us through Spider in one piece, and definitely having a lot of fun as long as I can remember not to accidentally enclose myself on a floor with a bunch of scary enemies. Then we maybe will be in a good place. Ooh, finally getting Potion of Heal Wounds back as well. Fantastic. Bad time to lose Dragon Form though. Let's immediately toss that back on. I guess if either of those Ice Spheres had hit us, it might have been a decent time, because when we're Cat Form, we of course have a little bit better cold resistance, but regardless, it all shook out in a decent outcome for us. Master Archer and Blades Master in Elf 2. I definitely hate that. So I could close the door and at least make them walk up to me a little bit. Then they'd both potentially be in range of the bog. Let's try it out. No, Master Archer not in range of the bog. Holy moly. And that's about what I expected. And not having any defenses, kind of rough, you know? So what do we wish to do here? We could just blink out, try and preserve our extra lives. This Blade Master will probably catch up to us. But them alone is not the end of the world. It's largely this Archer that's really in danger of ruining our day here. So let's do it. Let's read a blink to start off. That's step 1. And then the question becomes, do we want to read a teleport scroll? Hopefully it lands us somewhere in the Hall of Blades. A lot of the area of this map is already cleared, so it should be fairly safe, as long as we're lucky. Oh, and I definitely need to fix my Spotify there. Guess we could have had some new and exciting music, but you never know what's going to come up and what kind of DMCA status it's going to have, so just to play it safe. Let's pull that back, and we do land somewhere, I think, safe. Perfect. Relatively safe at the very least. Unfortunately, a weapon store comes up. Not what I was hoping to see here. We can get a magic book store. That would be lovely. Something with a little bit of manifold assault action in it, specifically, would be ideal. But I'm not going to be too greedy. I think we're in a half decent spot. So if we chose to leave Elf now, we're at 9.3 fire magic, so it's starting to crawl its way up there ever so slowly. Eventually should get ignition online. Could also, I guess, train a little bit of spell casting in the background. You know, raise our maximum MP as well as cast rates across the board. Side benefit of also getting a few more spell levels so we don't have to forget anything too critical in order to learn said ignition. But what do we wish to do now? Railbird, you just won your first Empire Elemental Sith Moon over the weekend, and it was a 5-rune game in version 0.29. Hey, congrats, that's awesome. I don't think I haven't won a run yet in 0.29. So maybe this will be our first. Felid as our first one would definitely be a bit of a shock for me, but would be happy to see it. Also, hello Sakuzo, I hope you're having a great weekend. Nice to have you around, thanks for dropping on by. So, question becomes, do we head back to vaults? I mostly ran from vaults because I was worried about our willpower, you know, running into wizards, getting banished, or just running into sentinels over and over and dealing with their marks. Felt like it was going to be a bit untenable, but compared to our entrance to depths, where it was just a real hodgepodge nightmare, maybe not that bad. So let's start by heading back to vaults here, potentially gain a bit more experience. We left behind Saint Roca, of course, but might not be the end of the world. If they're still there, we'll maybe just read a teleport. Or do we just take these friends upstairs? Don't hate that. Now the question becomes, do I bother fighting or do I try to TP out of here? Let's try to TP out of here. And while we're at it, we can hopefully irradiate these trolls, potentially get a collateral kill. I believe we got at least one there. Looks like just the one, but that's still not too shabby. And now we should be able to fight Saint Roca on our own terms, so hopefully we can have this in a bit more of a controlled fashion and do alright. I do want to find them, because I feel it might be dangerous to leave a wandering Saint Roca here on D14. That's fine, we'll do a quick Control F to forget the level and go wandering about until we find them. Do kind of want to be in dragon form when we do so. And perfect. And I guess let's just dance, you and I. Here goes nothing. So we have Wand of Roots to potentially throw at our friend here. No Acid Wand, unfortunately. But I might be able to just straight up win a 1v1. And indeed I can. Fantastic. And that should make this way easier. I think Control U undoes our forgetfulness. And then let's think about how we're going to deal with our new friends. Again, we could read another teleport and just hopefully land in a slightly safer place, or at least spread out our enemies a bit. Alternatively, we could start the encounter here. And in fact, if I can get you three upstairs, that seems lovely. That is perfect. You are Scusi, you've been playing some Cogmind, trying to learn it. Also got a job interview tomorrow in IT. Hey, congrats. Well, best of luck. I hope it goes better than my recent interview did. I ended up getting the position, so at the end of the day, I guess it's more about just impression overall. But regardless, I wish you the best of luck. What have you been thinking of Cogmind? Because I've definitely heard some mixed reviews on it. But it definitely seemed like an interesting game to say the least. Do I dare try to hold out for one more turn? I guess at the end of the day, the worst that could happen is I die and come back to life using another one of our extra lives, unfortunately, but not the end of the world. And it looks like I should be teleported out before that ends up being the case, so that is just fantastic. And now we can try and find our friends once again. So we have one Warden and two Dire Elephants somewhere about the level. It's a scavenger hunt to try and find them, or they could just come right up to us. That works too. Fantastic.